This week in Jamaica Now, U.S. immigration jitters. Trump wants to halt citizenship status for babies born in America to foreign parents. Hotel rape woes resurrected. The government seeks to quell anxiety, murder, assault, arson and suicide following bizarre Clarendon incident. More high-powered weapons seized in Kingston. Prime Minister says no turning back on policies against auxiliary fees and corporal punishment. Mandatory 10-digit dialing put on hold. And Jamaicans weigh in on proposal for new parliament building. I'm Althea McKenzie in for Damien Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. The Trump administration triggered more immigration jitters this week, revealing that it wants to stop granting automatic citizenship to babies born in America to foreign parents. The declaration comes days before the high-stakes midterm elections. An executive order would spark an uphill legal battle for Trump about whether he has the unilateral ability to declare that children born in the U.S. to those living there illegally are not citizens. Some scholars believe Trump cannot unilaterally implement the change. When asked about the legality of such an executive order, Trump said, "We're the only country in the world where a person comes in and has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States." But a 2010 study from the Center for Immigration Studies, a group that supports immigration restrictions, showed that 30 countries offered birthright citizenship. Many people, including Jamaicans, often go to the U.S. to have their babies, some later returning home. Meanwhile, Trump said White House lawyers are reviewing his proposal. It is unclear how quickly he would act, and the White House did not provide further details. Jamaican tourism officials spent much of this week trying to contain any potential fallout arising from a report in the U.S. media about sexual assaults on American visitors to local resorts. In an article published this week, USA Today quoted statistics from the U.S. Embassy in Kingston that between 2011 and 2017, 78 American tourists were raped at some of Jamaica's top resorts. The report also said Jamaican officials repeatedly said they were unaware of the problem of sexual assaults against foreigners at hotels. The incidents usually happen on the last night of their vacations. In a statement, Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett condemned the incidents of assault and all other crimes against visitors and Jamaican citizens. He also said all cases that are identified are being given full attention because Jamaica is committed to maintaining a safe, secure, and seamless destination. It was a case of a violent attack that left a Clarendon student burnt to death, 2 women with severe machete wounds, their house destroyed by fire, and the suspected suicide of the attacker. The student, 14-year-old Leroy Hamilton of Central High School in Maypen, was caught in the middle of a domestic dispute at his home in Stewarton Gully in Mucko. Early Wednesday morning, Keon Lawrence, the 42-year-old boyfriend of the boy's mother, used the machete to chop her several times before setting the house on fire with the student trapped inside. The teenager's grandmother rushed out of the burning building and was also chopped by Lawrence. The attacker then fled the scene, and his body was later found hanging from a rope at his house in the community. Neighbors were left shocked. However, they said the couple had domestic issues in the past. The police this week seized more weapons in another area under a state of public emergency. Among the seizures in a community of Tivoli Gardens known as Bumps were 4 high-powered rifles. The police say they also seized 11 sticks of explosives, 58 rounds of ammunition, 6 magazines, and several firearm parts. 3 persons are in custody in relation to the seizures. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is insistent that there will be no turning back on the government's policies against auxiliary fees and corporal punishment. He says the Charter of Rights makes it an entitlement for children to have free access to primary education, inclusive of early childhood education, without any obligatory fees. And the Prime Minister said there should be no corporal punishment in early childhood institutions, particularly infant schools, because it results in the entrenchment and legitimization of violence.
We have been literally saying to our children, a slap is right. When that child leaves, then a kick is right, a stab is right, and then shooting is right. And it only takes one to create the violence and mayhem.
Holness was speaking at the official handover ceremony of the newly completed Jamaica-China Goodwill Infant School in his West Central St. Andrew constituency. Government Minister Darrell Vaz is appealing to manufacturers, householders and distributors to support the impending ban on single-use plastic, which takes effect on January 1. He says the impending plastic ban is a game-changer for the way Jamaicans live and operate, adding that the government is working hard to ensure a seamless implementation of the ban. Meanwhile, Government Senator Matthew Samude says the administration understands that the impending plastic ban requires a cultural change. Persons may contact the National Environment and Planning Agency about the plastic policy at 876-285-8531 or email policyonplasticban@nepa.gov.jm. The Office of Utilities Regulation OUR has extended the permissive 10-digit dialing period to March 30, 2019. It was scheduled to end on October 30 this year. The extension is to facilitate the smooth transition from 7 to 10-digit local dialing. During the permissive dialing period, callers hear a reminder when they dial 7 digits instead of 10, and then the call is connected. When this period ends, however, it will be mandatory to dial 10 digits before the call is connected. The OUR says it received several requests from service providers and some of their large business customers to extend the permissive dialing period so they could address challenges relating to systems employing machine-to-machine communications and PBX telephone systems. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Althea McKenzie, and before we go, reactions from Jamaicans to the proposals for Jamaica's new Parliament building.
This one, because I like the whole aerodynamic design and almost futuristic. And I also like the design of the park because that's important to me that Jamaica maintains a green space, especially for our children. You know, I like the fact that they encompass having a track there and not excluding the surrounding communities because you don't want people to be displaced whilst this is being done.
It look more appealing and look like it have more space.
It's like how the building look and the shape and the design.
This is the one I love, this one, because the building is just unusual. It's not a common building, you understand? So the concept of the design just look awesome. I love it.
I prefer this one.
Why that one?
Well, this is the one that's cuter to me.
This one will come in as second to me because it reminds me of another building that we already have.
The architect for this, remember Georgette, because this is the winner. And I know you're going to get things. So look, Georgette, if you want my number, I'll email it to you right here.